Right now, a man breaks into a child's Lake Delton bedroom in an apparent attempted abduction. Police give us an update on the case.
And new information from northeastern Wisconsin, what officers say led to a firefighter being shot and killed in Appleton.
Plus, the state of Wisconsin is taking new legal action against a pharmaceutical company it claims helped inflame the national opioid epidemic.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thank you for joining us. A child is safe following a failed abduction attempt in Lake Delton.
It happened Saturday at a mobile home park. Our Keely Arthur has more from that location.
Authorities are still looking for a suspect. Now, police say that someone broke through a 2-year-old's bedroom window and then ran away. Police still here today, but things have quieted down.
Yeah, he's only 2 years old.
Bernie Lesnar has lived in Deer Run Estates for 13 years and has no complaints.
Neighbors are real friendly and a real good tax base.
One of the things he appreciates the most is how peaceful it is.
And then we have a meadow in the back of us that'll never be houses built on it.
Which is why what happened Saturday is so upsetting.
I'm just surprised as heck because that in the 13 years I haven't heard of anything here, not even a speeder.
On Saturday, there was an attempted abduction of a 2-year-old inside the home at Deer Run Estates. Initially, police didn't make any announcements, believing their prime suspect, a person who knew the family, may try to leave the state. However, that person was later ruled out. Authorities alerted the public today. Lesnar, frustrated he didn't know sooner.
Well, yeah, it is. And it happened on a Saturday, you say, and that doesn't surprise me because we have so many people up here from Chicago and Minneapolis and whatever, weekends especially.
Police say they don't have any leads right now. Residents hoping that changes fast so this concerned neighborhood can go back to its peaceful state.
I just hope it gets nipped in the bud, they catch them and whatever.
If you have any information about this incident, please contact the Lake Delton PD or Area Crime Stoppers. We have both those numbers up on our website, channel3000.com. In Lake Delton, Keely Arthur, News 3 Now.
Lake Delton police declined to do an on-camera interview about the attempted abduction.
In Appleton, the fire department has identified the firefighter who was shot and killed while trying to help a man last night. Mitchell Lundgaard responded to a call of a man having a medical emergency on a bus at the transit center. That man, only identified as a 47-year-old from the Wausau area, eventually got off the bus, and that's when the situation escalated to gunfire. Firefighter Lundgaard was shot and killed. An Appleton police officer and a female bystander were also hit.
I really want to encourage people to refrain as best as possible from speculating and guessing and judging about what may or may not have happened in downtown Appleton yesterday.
The gunman died from his injuries. The passerby and police officer are expected to be fine. A procession was held this morning for firefighter Lundgaard from Milwaukee back to Appleton. The case has been handed over to the Green Bay Police Department.
It has been a wet day in southern Wisconsin so far with off and on showers, some heavy this morning, some thick air out there now, and more storms are possible tonight. Let's check your first alert forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Eric, every hour that goes by, though, the threat for severe weather will be going down a little bit just because a cold front will be moving through southern Wisconsin. But we'll still see more thunderstorm chances later on tonight and then through tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we have alert days in the forecast for all that time period for the potential for any thunderstorm that could produce hail and gusty winds as well as heavy rain. And heavy rain may end up being the main threat overall. This morning's thunderstorms moved out. The skies started to clear out this afternoon, but so far we really haven't seen much in the way of thunderstorm development. Most of that has stayed to our south and to our east. The Storm Prediction Center still has a slight risk of severe thunderstorms for areas south of Madison, but tomorrow there's a marginal risk for southwestern Wisconsin and a marginal risk for Saturday as well, so we're not out of the woods from a severe weather threat. The heavy rain threat, though, take a look at this. This is through early Monday morning. Could be looking at generally between about 1.5 inches and 3 inches of rain with some localized higher amounts and heavier showers and thunderstorms. Low temperatures this morning generally are in the 50s, although here in Madison we only dropped to 60 degrees. High temperatures today generally in the low to mid 70s. Out to the west west, though, it was a little warmer where the sun was shining for a longer period of time. Lower 80s were found over much of southwestern Wisconsin, and temperatures are still at or above 80 near the Mississippi River. Madison is in the mid-70s. There's really not much of a lake breeze today, too, so even to Lake Michigan, temperatures are mild. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will drop to the lower 50s. Any shower and thunderstorm chances will end this evening, but then redevelop late tonight, and then tomorrow off and on showers and thunderstorms are likely, with a high temperature of 58. We'll stay in the 50s for much of the day. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. The man suspected of pepper spraying a Columbia County deputy during a traffic stop at a stolen vehicle this week has been given a $500 cash bond. 30-year-old Joshua Martin made his first appearance in court today. That was via video conference. He is charged with operating a motor vehicle without the owner's consent. Dashcam video shows the deputy stopping a truck for speeding. A short while later, then you see him get sprayed. The driver then takes off. Martin is scheduled to be back in court next month.
The Madison elementary school teacher facing reckless child abuse charges also made his first court appearance today. Christopher Rumbelow was given a $500 signature bond. The complaint says the student left the classroom after a disagreement and repeatedly closed the classroom door. Rumbelow then opened the door and the handle apparently hit the student in the forehead. State leaders are taking new legal action against a company they say helped exacerbate the national opioid epidemic.
Wisconsin is one of 5 states filing lawsuits against OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma. Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol now to explain the personal impacts of the opioid crisis. Rose?
Yes, well, Attorney General Josh Kaul announced that statewide lawsuit from the Capitol Rotunda here, alleging that the company tried to present opioids as the best solutions for chronic pain and downplayed the harms. But state leaders say that hurt families in every county of Wisconsin.
This is a nationwide epidemic, and no one's alone in this fight.
A powerful message that comes from someone who understands the opioid crisis all too well.
Not only is it a professional issue I deal with daily, but of course my family and I deal with it on a daily basis.
Sergeant R.J. Lurkwin's own son passed away in 2017 after suffering from addiction.
It was just past the 2-year mark. Yeah, it gets more difficult every day. We just miss our son.
He now works at the Dane County Jail helping people with drug addiction problems get into programs and get the help they need.
And I can obviously relate to what their families are going through, because we have a lot of family members reach out to law enforcement with their hands up in the air, kind of saying, you know, what do I do? You know, where do I go?
That's why he's standing up in support of a new statewide effort to curb the problem.
Wisconsin is one of 5 states that has filed suit against Purdue Pharma entities today.
Attorney General Josh Kaul announcing the state is suing a major manufacturer of the opioid OxyContin. The lawsuit alleges Purdue Pharma downplayed addiction risks of the drug using deceptive marketing practices.
The opioid epidemic was not inevitable. This epidemic has torn families apart. It has led to the overdose deaths of thousands of Wisconsinites.
Purdue Pharma is denying the allegations. Kaul, though, says its actions have affected people across the state.
It has strained our foster care services. It has strained our health care system. It has strained our criminal justice system.
As Dane County deputies respond to the staggering numbers of 12 to 15 overdose calls a week,
They continue to grow too.
Sergeant Lurkwin says he believes marketing has played a role.
Especially if someone that is vulnerable to addiction sees some promises that are made and they're not necessarily realizing the risks that come along with those promises.
Wisconsin and 25 other states won a $19.5 million settlement against Purdue Pharma back in 2007. The company issued a statement today denying the allegations against them, saying that the public wants to try the cases in the court of public opinion rather than the justice system. Back to you.
Vice President Mike Pence has just wrapped up an event at Fort McCoy, meeting this afternoon with military members and their families. He says he made the trip on behalf of the president to thank them for their service.
The President wanted me to be here today to make sure you all knew how much we appreciate the work you do here at Fort McCoy and the way that you make sure that our military are ready. The efforts that you provide here each and every day through the generations you've provided here at Fort McCoy have made America safer.
Earlier today, he was also in Eau Claire to promote the U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. Today's visit marks his first visit to Wisconsin since he attended a campaign rally back in November up in Hudson.
Wisconsin's unemployment rate has dropped, matching a record low. The State Department of Workforce Development released preliminary data today that shows the state's unemployment rate is at 2.8% in April. That matches the record low from last April. A second finalist vying for the open chancellor's position at UW-Whitewater has dropped out of the running. Slippery Rock University Provost and Vice President Philip Way has withdrawn from consideration. Louisiana State University of Alexandria Chancellor Caillou Huang did the same last week. Their departure leaves just two finalists, interim UW-Whitewater Chancellor Cheryl Green and Southwest Minnesota State University Provost and Vice President Dwight Watson. Still ahead tonight, how Madison police are helping launch a new tutor program for at-risk kids.
Plus, the final major retailer is moving out of Westgate Mall. A look back at the historical impact of this complex next.
Welcome back. The future of the Westgate Mall remains uncertain. The last major retailer, TJ Maxx, is moving out.
Our Jamie Perez learned more about this today, and she joins us from the Westgate Mall with what we know.
Now, in just a few months, the Westgate Mall is losing one of its last major tenants. TJ Maxx is going to be moving across the street, meaning most of the mall is going to be vacant besides a few stores that are still here. The future of the mall is still uncertain, but the history of it has definitely had a lasting impact.
Since the 1960s, Madison has seen the rise and fall of the Westgate Mall.
But on March 24th, 1960, 20,000 people came for the grand opening of the Westgate Mall. There's a JCPenney and a Piggly Wiggly and, of course, a Renabaum.
Stu Leviton knows his history and that this vacant lot used to be bustling with cars.
It's doubly sad, A, that so much land was devoted to a surface parking lot, and B, that there's nobody here to use it. And now on a beautiful spring day, it's empty, and we're hearing about its final demise.
Many of the stores have come and gone. Just mere shadows of former signs prove this mall was not always like this.
Such is the way of the world.
With only a few spaces in here still occupied, the Wisconsin craft market has outlived most.
Not many have come. All of them have left.
Paul Zarnico says his business is here to stay, despite those who have left one by one.
You know, we're staying until, like I say, until they drag us out.
The Westgate Mall owners said they're still considering new options to get the mall back under contract. The same mall that once took business away from downtown is now losing its own.
The same people who developed Westgate, Jacobs, Visconti Jacobs out of Cleveland, they also developed the Easttown and the Westtown malls, which kept pulling shopping out of downtown.
The future remains unclear at this point, but for Zarnico, as one of the few still standing.
If there's a lot of stores here, great. If there's no stores here and we're the only one, that's okay with me too.
Now, what will happen to this mall, we're not sure yet, but it's a story that will certainly continue to follow. In Madison, I'm Jamie Perez for News 3 Now.
And TJ Maxx is reportedly moving out to go across the street by September.
The Madison Police Department is launching a new program to help at-risk kids. Over the last 6 months, they helped raise money to start a free tutoring program. Those kids being invited were identified by Madison officers last month based on a combination of arrest records and academic test scores. The idea is that the better these kids perform in school, the less likely they'll be to skip class and stir up trouble. Police officers aren't doing this tutoring. It's retired teachers who are answering the call to help. Teachers looking for summer employment and reading specialists.
Still ahead tonight, coming up in sports, a Game 1 win for the Milwaukee Bucks and a preview of tomorrow night's Game 2.
But first, a continued chance for storms this evening and later this weekend. Gary Canalti will break it all down for us when we come back. Gary joins us with a look at the forecast, and that was some wild morning weather.
Yeah, it's some interesting cloud pictures, that came through with that striation in the clouds. All it was just really a gust front out ahead of a line of thunderstorms that moved through southern Wisconsin. Now, as we take a look at alert days we have in the forecast, we've got more storms in the forecast. That was just round number 1. We have alert days in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow for a chance for a thunderstorm yet this evening, although that chance continues to drop almost minute by minute. But another round of showers and thunderstorms later on tonight. That would be more of a heavy rain threat. If we get a storm to develop this evening, hail and gusty winds would be the main threats. For tomorrow, we'll be on the cool side of a front. Temperatures will stay in the 50s. If we do see a stronger thunderstorm, hail would be the main threat, but also the potential is there for heavy rain. Saturday and Sunday, guess what? More thunderstorms. The potential is there Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening for thunderstorms that could produce heavy rain, as well as some severe weather with hail and high winds being the main threat. Now, the severe weather reports that we had this morning, just a few of them out to the west. One of them was near Blanchardville, another one by Platteville and up towards Stoddard, just south of La Crosse. Most of these were hail reports less than the size of a quarter. Now, the 24-hour precipitation shows were the heaviest rain track, basically from La Crosse and Viroqua, just south and west of Dane County down toward Monroe. Much of that area received over an inch of rain just this morning. Areas north and east of there into the Madison area, about a half inch to an inch, and then farther east, less than a 1/4 of an inch of rain. Notice far southwestern portions of Grant County went from an inch of rain or more near Platteville to little or none near the Mississippi River. So that's the kind of situation we're going to be in. Some areas are going to get heavier amounts of rain. Other areas nearby may not see as much. High resolution Doppler right now, some showers developing just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line, maybe a few sprinkles south of Lone Rock. Haven't seen any lightning with those, though. The thunderstorms have been to our east and southeast. And as a cold front pushes through, these showers are developing along and ahead of the front. So once the front comes through, the severe weather threat will end, even though the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk of severe thunderstorms into far southern Wisconsin for this evening. Now, tomorrow, there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms. Again, with the cooler air, hail would be the main threat. And then on Saturday, a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms with hail and gusty winds being the main threat, because temperatures will get back into the lower 70s, at least over parts of the area. And then the rainfall amounts, this is all the way through early Monday morning. And we're looking at a general 1.5 to 2 or 3 inches of rain with some heavier amounts in spots that get heavier thunderstorms. So again, and then you add in the rain that's going to fall later on next week, and we could be looking over the next week or so and seeing anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain. So that is something that really has to be watched. Our forecast for tonight calls for a chance for a thunderstorm this evening, then partly cloudy skies turn cloudy overnight, some thunderstorms toward morning, low temperature dropping to 52. Tomorrow temperatures don't rise very much. They'll stay in the low to mid 50s much of the day. The high might hit 58 early, but we'll also see off and on shower and thunderstorm chances. On future track, you can see the threat for rain ending this evening, but then coming back by tomorrow morning, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and then on Saturday, as a warm front lifts northward, we'll see some showers and storms, maybe a little bit of break in the morning, but notice the difference in temperatures. 70s from Madison southward, northern parts of our viewing area staying in the 50s and 60s. And again, those rainfall amounts through Sunday, generally about 1.5 inches to maybe as much as 3 inches. 7 to 10 day forecast, a little bit of a break on Monday, but more showers and storms Tuesday and Wednesday. Toward the end of next week, a little less rain, a little more in the way of temperatures.
Kayla Conwent thought her softball career might be over, but it wasn't. And now she's one of the best in the country. We'll hear from the Badger Junior in sports.
Hi, I'm Michelle Carolla. Tonight on the news at 9, hear from firefighters in our area responding to the death of an Appleton firefighter shot and killed in the line of duty. That is first on Fox at 9.
The state of Wisconsin is still buzzing about the Bucks win in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals last night in Milwaukee, 108-100. It looked like the Bucks were in trouble for most of the night, but down 7 heading into the fourth quarter, they outscored Toronto 32-17 in the final 12 minutes, including a 9-0 run to end the game. Brooke Lopez had a career playoff night with 29 points, 11 rebounds, including 2 big baskets late. After so many blowout wins this season, was it good for the Bucks to win a close one?
You know, we have a lot of confidence in this group, and all throughout the season in the playoffs, different guys have been stepping up, different guys have been having big nights, and, you know, it was definitely good to see us win in a different way. You know, I think, you know, going forward, we'd be all right, though, if they weren't all like that.
We're happy, but at the end of the day, the job is not done. We got to protect our home. We got to be able to get Game 2.
Here's a look at what's next for the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 2 tomorrow night, 7:30 at Fiserv Forum. Then it goes to Toronto for games Sunday at 6, Tuesday at 7:30. Game 5, if they need it, back in Milwaukee a week from the night. The Brewers had lost 3 in a row, but they flipped the switch in Philadelphia, winning their 3rd straight against the Phillies this afternoon. As usual, the home run ball played a big part. In a 4-3 game, Yasmani Grandal broke things open with his 8th homer of the season. 3-run shot to make it 7-3 Brewers, and Christian Yelich homered in the first, homered again here in the 8th. That's 18 homers on the season for Yelich, who also has 40 runs batted in. Zach Davies goes 6 innings to improve to 5-0. Brewers 11, Phillies 3. Milwaukee plays at Atlanta tomorrow night. The Badger softball team is in Norman, Oklahoma to begin the NCAA tournament. The first game is tomorrow night at 6 against Notre Dame. It's a pretty special time for first baseman Kayla Conwent. She came out of Westosha Central High School as the Player of the Year in Wisconsin, but she played only 13 games her first 2 seasons at Madison because of 2 shoulder surgeries. This year she played and was the Big Ten Player of the Year, hitting .477 with 15 homers and 53 runs batted in. Conwent admits after last season she wasn't sure she'd ever play softball again, but now every day is a gift.
I just like each day, I just like wake up with such like a grateful perspective and heart, and you don't realize like what you have until it's gone.
Be her first season that she's really playing for us, all the attention, and for her to just be able to handle it and be so humble and focused. She's a clutch kid.
I thought the big challenge was going to be coming back and not being able to swing as hard or not being able to fulfill my full potential. And with the amazing staff, the coaches, my teammates, like everybody's support's been absolutely unreal. Like to be able to feel like I'm almost back to where I was.
And they're just wrapping up the first round of the PGA Championship at Bethpage Black outside of New York. Last year's PGA champion Brooks Koepka in front again after a round of 63. Phil Mickelson's under par. Tiger Woods is not. Steve Stricker shoots 73 today. He's 10 shots back. Final 2 rounds on Channel 3 this weekend.
Still weird.
News 3 Now this weekend.
Still weird having that in May, the PGA Championship. Yep. Kayla Conwent is like the reason those pitchers need to wear those cages on.
Well, yeah.
She can hit the ball.
It comes right back at you pretty
you could
fast.
see it in that video. That was something. Gary?
We're watching showers and thunderstorms, but right now everything seems to be south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. So I think the severe weather threat is really winding down, at least for this evening. Mid-70s to low 80s right now, so it's pretty steamy out there. But alert days in the forecast the next 3 days for showers and thunderstorms. There will be some severe weather threat as well as heavy rain threats. More storms in the middle of next week.
Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening. We'll see you back here at 10.